like open my throttle to make noise, and yeah, I don't know. We make contact, but I feel like I was a little bit in front of me and of him, so I don't know. I'm sorry if I make him injury or whatever.
No further review on the Ferrandis.
So let's just get this out of the way at the beginning of the video. Dylan is the most hated rider in Supercross, maybe in the entire world right now, which sucks for him. Absolutely sucks for him. Nobody likes to have that much negativity, especially booing on the podium. So what I'm about to say might piss you guys off, and that's entirely fine. I've got a comment section for you guys to try to piss me off. So I've had a problem with this in my local organization. I started a whole bunch of with the sanctioning bodies here because of just over-aggressive riding. And the point that I was making is it's not the rider's responsibility. From a young age, we reward, win at all costs, do whatever you can. That's what we admire about these top-tier professional riders, is they give up so much to win. And it's in these guys' best interest to win at all costs. The pay is there, the factory bonuses are there. The difference between winning and third in a main event is $50,000 to $250,000 for the contracts, not to mention the points gained. I think this is great for the sport. I'm glad Christian Craig, don't get me wrong, okay, let me back up. I'm glad Christian Craig is not injured in this whole ordeal. It's a bummer, but he can't just sit there and play victim, because at one point he was the aggressor as well. I believe it was Detroit of 2017 in qualifying practice. He does this to Martin. All right, straight up takeout move, okay? The big difference here is not many people were witnessing what was going on. It wasn't for the win at the main event, even though this was for second place at the time, but moot point. Here's another example of Kevin Windham taking out Villeman. Clear takeout move, no fine. And then we have the Mike Alessi tickle incident that happened in a heat race back in 2014. Mike Alessi was fined $4,000 in probation because of this. So now that I got everybody thinking, I've got two really good examples where the crowd was in favor of major takeouts. We've got Las Vegas 2017. Osborne damn near comes from last and wins the title by taking out Savacci on the last corner.
The title! Osborne to the inside! Takes him out! Oh, Savacci's in the dirt! Osborne! Final corner! And the title!
And then we had this happen in Atlanta 2011. Reedy and Stewart. Trying not to digress here, we can all agree that all of these scenarios consisted of similarities. We had one rider take out another rider, and us, the fans, everyone around the racing community either loved it or hated it. Why is that? Is there a story behind it? Was it different because Stewart was winning all the time and finally there was somebody going to stop him with Reedy, or Osborne came from last to win the championship? And nobody likes Mike Alessi because he cried on the podium, so let's boo him and that was wrong? Or was it because heat race, LCQ, main event, did that have anything to play with it? When is it okay and when is it not okay to take out a rider and be overly aggressive? Because if you're anything like me and you grew up in a racing family, you had sponsors, you had your family, you had some people close to you going, you know what, fuck everybody, you got to go out there, don't get pushed around. You're at war. Make shit happen. So if you haven't gotten the gist of what I'm saying, is I'm saying the riders are not at fault here. They're doing what their job details, is win. Nobody remembers how you won. They just remember you won. So who makes the rules? Who's in control? Who gets to decide that's too aggressive, we're going to fine you, or we're going to let it slide? I have a couple different views. I think the whole scenario is corrupt. The industry, at least the corporations that are running it. We have Feld Motorsports that is going to play this as a highlight reel to get more people in the seats. And you have AMA that doesn't want to piss off Feld. And you've got WADA and then USADA. It just goes on and on. I've written letters to AMA. I've spoken with some of the higher ups at AMA. especially with some of the stuff that happened here in my local community, just trying to make a difference. And it's up to AMA to make sure the riders are safe. You can't have a precedent moving forward that these riders can do whatever it takes to win, because that's their job. So I want to be very clear. It's AMA's, American Motorcycle Association's, responsibility to make sure the riders are safe. Do I think they are doing a shitty job? Oh, absolutely. This is a complete shit show. All they're going to do is what they've continued to do over the last decade or more is, hey, we're going to put this rider on probation and don't do it again. Here's a small fine, the $4,000 fine. I know you won $100,000, but here's a $4,000 fine. The tap on the shoulder. You know what's right and wrong. It's 100% setting the standard for all the riders to go out and take each other out, risk injury with each other because they know there's no repercussion whatsoever. I've always laughed my ass off when I heard that, oh, here's another fine for a factory rider. That's ridiculous. Fine the privateers when they do crap like that because they don't have the money. And then take points away from the factory riders when something like this happens because their teams are going to prevent them from doing that again. Or maybe disqualify them from the race or make them stay out the next 2 races. That would be enough of a penalty that, oh my God, I'm not going to do that again. This is not rocket science. If you let the riders get away with everything, they're going to push the envelope. It's what we're trained 24/7 to do. In situations like this, why don't we have a jury of riders, ex-riders, that don't have any obligations to anybody or special interests whatsoever, and they get to collectively decide what sort of penalty should a particular rider have for a particular offense. So I ask all the fans to just calm down. Don't instantly just go on mob mentality to whether it's Dylan or Craig, whatever, blank Johnny Hopper. It's not the rider's fault per se. It's bigger than them. And for us to treat these riders with disrespect, one day we love them, the next day we hate them, is ridiculous. I don't like it. I don't stand for it. And I'm an also ran wannabe. So moving on, let's break down Lawrence's crash. Right where I've paused the clip is where he skips a whoop. He goes from hitting out all the tops to missing one, front wheel drops down, and that's when he does the whole Malcolm Stewart smashes into the next jump, breaks your collarbone. So I want to ask you guys, the viewers, guys and gals alike, what do you think about having 16-year-olds race again? So back when I retired in 2017, you had to be 18 to race. You were going through the Amsoil Arena Crosses to get your pro license. You had to be 18. I was told, or what I was led to believe, was the 18 rule from 16 was so that you could finish high school and not be homeschooled, or at least try not to make these riders feel that they have to be homeschooled in order to compete. But because of the road to Supercross with the Futures class, they moved it back to 16. And I hope Dungy is being a mentor. I'm almost positive he's being a mentor for these Geico guys with being part owner now. Hopefully Jet Lawrence will start listening to him and settle down, sort of like what Roxon did. He got passed by Tomac, a.k.a. Dylan, in the 450 main. He settled for second so that he could live another day and race. Jet, however, pushed harder through the whoops and went down. So I'm just going to spend a few extra minutes just in conclusion on the 450 class. First guy I want to talk about is Eli Tomac, and what a bipolar rider this guy is. From when you're not on, you're 5th, 7th, but when you're on, you're over 2 seconds faster than the rest of the field. It's unbelievable. I don't know how he does it, how he switches on, but when he does, he's clearly the fastest, and by quite a margin, which is, it blows my mind. AC 3 weekends in a row is the fastest time qualifier. He ended up 6th, so he's gotten a 2nd, a 7th, and a 6th. I think he's still going to get a win here. He just needs to put everything together. I really thought it spoke volumes that Ken Roczen didn't have tear-offs. That's somebody that just plans on being out front. He got the whole shot, ended up 2nd. he might actually win this thing. And then lastly, my prediction, Cooper Webb bringing back the Finn, the Jeremy McGrath Finn. I thought he rode exceptional to be on the podium again with a third, a 12th, and another third. He even qualified 6th, so he's still in the run. Top 7 guys are within 15 points. Just want to say thank you all for watching, sticking by me. I got a bunch more content planned, some controversial stuff, some tutorials. I'm even going to film me buying my bike. I don't know what bike I'm going to get. It's either a Honda, Yamaha, Kawasaki. I just need to figure it out. So, bro.
Absolutely nobody.